Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 2, where I think we are just about ready to launch this thing, except, and this is a big except, I was just looking at the status of things and, well, you guessed it, most of the struts down here are gone, and also these struts appear to exist, including the fuel lines in there, but for whatever reason up here, these struts and fuel lines are broken. So we're going to have to fix those. No doubt about that. Let's come down here first. And let's go into struts. Here we go. We're going to need 8x symmetry. And we're going to grab from here to here. And we're going to strut on the bottom as well, from here to here. And then we're going to do the same thing here to here. That's not what I wanted to duplicate. Get out of here. And then I want to duplicate this from here to here. We can do the same thing internally, and we can have this go from here to here. There's no point in doing fuel lines for this, but... Oh. Okay. Sure, I guess it didn't duplicate that. Whatever. We're going to duplicate this time, hopefully, and we'll do it from here to here. Now, those aren't all done at this point, but that should be good enough on the struts, I think. But we can run them from here to here as well, and then do the same thing down at the bottom, just to be on the safe side. So something kind of like that. Okay, that should work as far as the struts down here goes. Now, up this direction, we can see that the struts exist, but were broken via the tooling. So that is unfortunate. What that ends up meaning is that we're going to need to get rid of all of these. So we need to get these gone. We need to get this gone as well. Coming down over here, it looks like there's a set of struts here that need to be gotten rid of, and a set here that need to be gotten rid of. Now, did that remove all of them? Just checking through here. The answer is no. Here's a set of struts. Okay. What else do we have? There might be a set or two here that I missed, but it shouldn't be a significant thing in theory. Okay, so now we're going to put these back in. So we're going to do struts from here to here. Then I'm going to do struts up top here, here to here. And then I'm going to do, not that, I'm going to do internal struts from here to here. And I'm going to do the same thing down here from here to here. And then we're going to need fuel flow. So we're going to put in a fuel line. And that can go from here to here, or we could do it down below. I don't think that changes the way it works. But down below makes more sense because we want the fuel to drain from top to bottom, right? We don't want it to necessarily drain evenly, which is the way it works by default. So that is fine. And then we've got these ladders. I don't think... Hang on. I don't think that I saved the ladder situation up here. Okay, so yeah, apparently not. We're going to get rid of these, and we know what the fix was. The fix was simply to grab a small ladder and place that... It was right about here, although we don't need this in symmetry. So symmetry off. Thank you. So place that right about here, and then that gets extended down. We'll just verify that this ladder works. I'm saving this as, I guess, as the capo rock. I don't think I saved it as that, but okay. Sure, that looks like it. So we're going to do that. Let's put this on the pad. And at this point, I want to do a couple of things. Question 1, do our SRBs explode? Question 2, do our ladders work? SRBs appear to be reasonably stable. Although it's kind of laggy, no doubt about that. Okay, Valentina, go ahead and hop out here. It's very dark, but this should be fine. Just drop right on down. You should land right on that strut. There you go. And we're just checking to make sure that the ladder works here. It definitely should. Okay, so we would come out this direction. Yep, that works fine. we should be able to jump from ladder to ladder here. Yep, that works fine. And then once we get to the top, can we climb out? The climb out isn't working. Okay, that's the only thing that's a problem here. So we're going to revert this back to the VAB. That's a very promising sign. The climb out is not fully functional. The rest of it is. So we're going to need to fix that ladder issue. Because we absolutely need to be able to get up once we're down, right? And we can't necessarily guarantee, I mean, on some worlds that we're going to go to with this, we can. But on other worlds, we can't necessarily guarantee that we are going to be able to jetpack up, right? So that is definitely a concern here. So we'll head up to here. I think this needs to be moved up ever so slightly higher. I mean, it's technically hovering there. That's probably fine. Let's save that. That's the auto-saved workspace. Oh, okay. That might be the problem. Let's save this as this workspace. Or I guess Moho Lander 2. I didn't save it as Moho Lander 2, but that's today's date. Okay, I'm very confused by what this is saving it as, but as long as it's saving it, we're good. So we're going to put this out on the pad now. We're going to test that ladder. It's very dark, but that's fine. All we need to do is make sure that the ladder is working, and once we know that the ladder is working, then we can hop back in, and we can take off. Okay, Valentina, head on out and let go. Landing right on that strut there. I like it. The game got very laggy there for a moment, but it's okay. Yeah, very, very laggy. So we can definitely climb up here. And then we can grab onto the ladder. And then we can climb out. Perfect. That works exactly as intended at this point. So now we're going to make our way back over to here. Grab onto this. Climb on up. And board. Excellent. Now the question is, can we lift off this monstrosity without losing too many engines? And we're going to try. We are going to try. The other question is, do we have any overheating issues? But I don't think we will. We'll just take it up pretty high. Let's get out of here. Let's see how this goes. Right. That's a problem. I forgot to do the staging. Surprisingly, the rover mostly survived that. Okay, let's just revert this back to the VAB. Staging. I remember that I called that out at the end of last episode now, that we didn't do the staging. That would definitely help. That would definitely help. Good thing that wasn't worth staging. Losing that, losing just the rover is completely irrelevant, right? So that is fine. So let's get that staging completed. And what are we going to do here? Well, we need to start at the top. And these 8, these 2, yes, that's fine. This is okay. And then these 4 decouplers down here, that's fine. These 5 engines fire, and this decouples at the same time. That is good. So these 8 would detach. Yes, that is fine. These 16 would detach. Yes, that is fine. So the only thing that is actually wrong here is the location of this stage, which this is really probably going to be manually staged. I'm just going to put it up at the top. Okay, so that seems fine. Let's put this out on the pad, and let's see if we can get a clean detachment. That is the only question at this point. Is the detachment clean? Also, I'm not sure if we're going to Lathe or Elu yet. I guess we'll have to figure that out. We need to go to both with this same rocket, so that'll be interesting. Now, Valentina's our only crew here, and I want to make sure she is not in the ejection seat. She is. Of course she is. She really shouldn't be here. Back to the VAB we go. Okay. Let's not have anybody riding in the hot seat on the way through the atmosphere. That would not be good. I have a feeling they would not survive that. So back to the VAP one final time we go, this time to get proper astronaut assignments. Or I suppose we should say Kerbonaut assignments. So we're going to hop in here and we are going to go to our Kerbal manager. Bill is currently seated in the Grumble seat, and we're going to instead put 4 Kerbals in the Wanderer and no one at all in the Grumble seat. That seems like the best way to go. The question now is, does that Grumble seat survive ascent? Do our boosters survive ascent? We've had pretty decent luck with this ever since reworking the position that these were attached at, but we'll see if this works. It'll be very interesting indeed. It's nighttime right now. We could warp to morning. And in fact, let's go ahead and do that. Wait, we're only on 4x time warp available? Why only 4x? Okay, now we can do much higher time warp. Cool. That was very strange, but whatever. Let's warp until morning. And this will be absolutely fine. A little faster. There we go. Okay, so it is now daytime, and we're going to launch this thing. That is quite the wiggle. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't continue. Let's lift this off and see what happens. It's going to be very laggy for sure. That is very slow off the pad, and we've certainly got a bit of a slideshow going here. But we don't appear to be imminently impacting the tower, so that's good. We have now cleared the tower. That's excellent. And we're going to put this into just up for right now. Our prograde's a little off, but we'll get there. I'm a little concerned about potentially bending the rocket happening around here or so. Based on the prograde trajectory here, I think that may have already been happening. But we're just going to go like straight up here for a good long time. For a good long time. Also note that we rotated our capsule, so currently 90 degrees, a prograde equatorial orbit would be off to the left instead of the normal right for us. So that is understood, and we're going to go that route, but not just yet. Okay. So this is, of course, a big boy, and the question is, are we going to lathe or elude? This would be fully capable of landing on either. It'll definitely be one of those. No doubt about that. I think we're probably going to target lathe, but we'll see. We'll see. Parachutes will definitely make that a little bit simpler. We know that we will have just barely enough thrust to weight to lift this thing off, but that will be a little higher. We'll have burned through some of our fuel by the time we get there, so that is fine. Wow, that dithering as we go through the cloud, though. Okay, that's exciting. Interesting. Odd choice on the rendering technique there, but there was probably technical reasons why they chose to do that. Interesting. So we're currently at an apoapsis of about 5 kilometers. Yeah, this thing's pretty slow, no doubt about that. We've burned off almost half of our SRBs. Not quite, but pretty close to half. And we're currently moving at about 200 meters per second. It's low thrust to weight, for sure. So we're going to burn here until our apoapsis is probably somewhere around... I'm thinking 40. And then we just slap it on program. That's probably our best bet. Currently around 10 kilometers. Yeah, I would like to get the gravity turn going a little earlier. I have zero confidence in turning this thing. No doubt about that. So we're just going to continue to lift it up here. Note how our delta V count is going up, by the way. That's exciting. No doubt about that. We're only moving at 350 meters per second right now. This is a very, very slow launch. You know, if we wanted to put if we wanted to put 2 rovers on, we might have been able to land on both lathe and elude, but that would probably be stretching our fuel here. is my assumption. Most likely. That would probably be really, really stretching it. So this is fine. We're at an apoapsis of about 20 kilometers at this point. We are continuing to accelerate. And we have burned off most of our SRB. That's absolutely fine. I want to continue going up for now. I want the air to get a fair amount thinner. I'm going to put us into stability assist, and I'm going to switch this to orbital mode. I want to see where the prograde marker is. Okay. Noted. So we're at about an apoapsis of 30 kilometers. I want to keep going straight up for the moment. We have very little horizontal speed, and we're going to need quite a lot of it, but that is understood. I'm keeping an eye on our solid fuel amounts. Yeah, I think 40 will be reasonably fine. We'll be in relatively thin atmosphere by then. I do see that heat gauge on a number of locations there. We're at 40 kilometer apoapsis. Let's move this to prograde and see what happens. The atmosphere is thinning out. Okay. Those heat gauges are not tremendously concerning yet. We have pretty much all vertical speed, right? And this is reasonably fine as far as the prograde marker goes. Yeah, I mean, we're going to need a big horizontal burn, but that's not shocking. Those heat gauges are going to continue to drop as our altitude goes up, and our thrust to weight is going to go down fairly soon as well when our SRBs detach. So we're at an apoapsis of 70 right now. I'm going to keep burning in this attitude until our solid fuel is burnt out. Keeping an eye on those heat gauges. But we've only got about 6 tons of solid fuel left. So that's understood. Now only about 3 tons of solid fuel left in each of these boosters, to be clear. Now about 1 ton, and we're going to have detachment now. Is this clean? I don't think it's going to be. I never think it's going to be, though. Oh, that was clean. I never have confidence in that. Never, ever, ever. So our apoapsis is currently about 108 kilometers, and I want to get our roll under control a bit here. So about like that. Then I'm going to put it in this, and I want to get a fair amount of additional horizontal speed going here. We have plenty of vertical speed. We no longer have any heating issues, so that is good to note. And I'm just going to bring us over to the 45-degree marker here. Actually, I want to bring us all the way over to the horizon. We have enough horizontal speed, or rather enough vertical speed. I want to get some horizontal speed only. So we're just going to bring this all the way over to the horizon. Not an efficient descent profile, but when we don't have confidence in the aerodynamics of the rocket, sometimes sacrifices must be made. Okay, so we are on our way to the horizon here. In fact, we're overshooting it ever so slightly, but that's fine. We're bringing this back. Okay, somewhere around here or so. Keeping an eye on how much fuel we have left. And I'm going to burn here at the horizon until we are at an apoapsis of maybe around 150 or 200. I want to get a fair amount of horizontal speed going here. Checking our time to apoapsis, it is currently holding, so burning here is absolutely necessary. However, it's now going up. That is a very good sign. Cool. So far, so good. So we're just going to hold here until like 150, 200 maybe even. I'm just looking at how much DV we have left in this stage. It's quite a lot. So that's not really a big concern there. We should probably extend our solar panels. And I'm going to do that now if I can find them. Here we go. We're going to extend these guys. I wish that we could just press this button, but for whatever reason, they aren't considered as part of that. So let's get our solar panels extended. Not that we think we're going to have any electric charge issues. We are reaching an apoapsis of 150 as of now, and that's reasonably fine. I'm just changing our attitude a little bit. We definitely have a roll oscillation, but it's not too aberrant, so I think we'll be okay here. Yeah, this is very controllable. I want to continue to push up our apoapsis at this point. Our time to apoapsis is going up, but it's not going up tremendously fast. So I'm just going to bring this up to about 200. And we can see that we're going to be losing these side stages very, very shortly here. The question is, are we going to be losing them in a controlled manner? Fingers crossed on that one. Okay, so they are no longer burning. I'm turning off all of our engines, ditching that stage, and I'm burning very gently. I'm buying time for these stages to move away from us. And hoping that that's what ends up happening. Okay. They're separating. They're separating. And we're clear. Beautiful. Okay. I'm always paranoid about that. Always paranoid. So we've got about 4 kilometers per second in this engine. It's going to be fairly low thrust to weight, and my question is, how are we doing on this? Time to apoapsis is going down. So that means that we need to be burning, at least here, if not be burning directly at prograde. It's going down slowly. Let's burn directly at prograde. So we're going to head over to prograde. And we're just going to push that up to 200 kilometers. That'll be fine. Wonderful. So prograde is going to fight gravity a little bit for us, and that is fine. We can see our orbital velocity is very slowly going up. Our thrust to weight is not phenomenal here. No doubt about that. We've got 3 minutes until apoapsis at this point, and that time is holding now that we're on prograde. So that seems fine. Orbital velocity is, of course, going up, and we're going to be targeting an apoapsis of, I think, about 200 kilometers. We're getting mostly horizontal speed at this orientation, but there is a little bit of verticality. That's mostly just going to be fighting the existing gravity. And we now see that that time to apoapsis is going up at a reasonable-ish clip. It's not phenomenal, but it's decent. Okay, it's kind of holding more than anything, but it is going up slowly. Okay, so 1,600 meters per second, and we definitely need like another 500 or so out of this. It's going to take a little bit. The question is, well, we definitely have the thrust to weight to do this. We know that we have the thrust to weight to do it because time to apoapsis is going up. However, we also know that we're going to have to be in position for the burn pretty quickly if we're going to burn at 200. We may want to target 250, to be honest. Just because of our turn rate, which is going to be quite slow. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that right now, and I'm leaning towards targeting a little higher than 200. 250 is probably fine. We're going to get a fair amount of horizontal speed in that time before we get to 250, and I'm just keeping an eye on that timer. It's not going up as quickly as I would like it to, so we clearly need more horizontal speed here, and I'm just going to continue to burn here for right now. I'm just concerned that if we were to look to circularize at 200, that we would miss our burn opportunity because we were still orienting. So I just want to push this out a little further until we're at like... Honestly, I'm not even targeting a particular apoapsis here. I'm honestly targeting a particular T-, which is going to be more like T- 5-ish minutes, maybe even like 8. We've got a ways to go for that. However, as our orbital velocity picks up, that is going to start going up faster and faster and faster. So that is okay. We're at 321 right now, and yeah, that's going up now at about 1 every 3 seconds or so. So we're definitely getting a lot closer to orbital velocity. This is looking fine. We're just going to continue to burn on prograde here for a while. I don't really care too much about what our targeting apoapsis is. It's completely fine as long as we're in a reasonable orbit. High orbit is okay here. We're going to be leaving anyway, so we're going to have to get that speed no matter what. We're up to 331 on that T-minus. Seems good. And that's definitely starting to go up a lot faster now. 334, 335. It's about 1 second per second now. That is definitely significantly increasing. I like it. Cool. So we'll continue to burn here for a little bit. It is time to put a cut in here, but I'm going to wait until we're in at least a coast phase. I don't want to put a cut in while we're in the middle of this burn. So that'll be reasonably fine. We'll just come back to this in a next episode, but not going to do that during this burn. We'll just wait till we get to coast phase. It's definitely low thrust to weight, but, you know, what are you going to do? These Mammoth 2s are not strong enough. There's no real way around that. The Mammoth 2s are not powerful enough for what we're trying to do with them. But it's okay. We can make it work. So we've got a ways to go yet till orbital velocity, no doubt about that, but orbital velocity is definitely starting to come up pretty nicely. I like it. We're now up to about 4 minutes to our apoapsis. I think I am going to cut this burn at 250. It just seems like a nice clean number to cut it at, and we've bought ourselves a fair amount of time to figure out what we're going to be looking at for this actual burn. We're at an orbital velocity right now of about 1,800 meters per second. We definitely need more orbital velocity than that, but this is not really the time anymore to be doing this burn. So I'm going to cut the engines, and at the apoapsis here, or around the apoapsis, we're just going to get ourselves into an orbit. I don't really care about the apoapsis periapsis here. This is fine. It's completely okay. We're just going to align for that burn, and that burn is going to be in about 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So that's okay. It's not going to be a perfect orbit, but it really, really doesn't need to be. We'll get started on this turn, and next episode will be much closer to this burn, or be turned, one or the other, I'm not sure which. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.